everybody, welcome to class today. Today is going to be a short hip and lower back sequence, so it's quite a gentle, stretchy, therapeutic flow designed to open up through the hips and relieve back pain. If you like these classes, please remember to like and subscribe, and if you want to know more about personalised programs, please head over to my Instagram. We're going to start today in child's pose at the back of the mat. Start at the back of your mat in an extended child's pose. Knees are wide, arms are out in front of you. Sink the chest and the forehead down towards the mat. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And let it go through the mouth. One more like that. Feel the belly inhale. And then let it go through the mouth. And then start to breathe in and out through the nose. Maybe bringing a gentle constriction to the back of the throat for Ujjayi Pranayama. And just take 3 more breaths here to settle into your space. Feeling any areas of stagnant energy, tenderness, areas that need attention. And then keep the left hand planted. Take the right hand, snake it underneath the left arm, palm faces up. Come to rest on the right ear, thread the needle. And you can stay here, or you can take the left hand up and behind the back, reaching for the inner right thigh, extending the twist into the left shoulder. And then extend the left arm back out in front of you. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, unwind the right arm, extend it. And take the left arm underneath the right, coming to thread the needle on the left side. Left palm faces the sky. And you can stay here, or you can take the right hand behind the back, reaching for the left inner thigh, deepening the twist. And then take an inhale, extend the right arm, exhale, unwind the left. Take one more inhale in child's pose. See if you can sink the chest a little lower. And then as you exhale, round the spine, come up into tabletop position, bringing the wrists underneath the shoulders, the knees under the hips. As you inhale, drop the belly, reach the sternum forward, the tail to the sky for cow belly. And as you exhale, scoop and round, coming into your cat. And take a few more like this to the pace of your own breath, seeing if you can bring movement into every segment of your spine. And then from here, we're going to move into more of a free moving sort of movement. So start to take the hips in circles and start to let the rib cage move in the opposite direction. So we're kind of got like a funky cat going on. And you can feel free to move the head and the neck and the shoulders. Just let it be fluid. And then reverse your circles to the other direction. Starting to loosen up the lower back and the hips. And then come to a neutral spine. Inhale, reach your right arm forward. Exhale, reach the left leg back behind you. Toes can stay on the floor or float to the height of the hip. Trying to keep the pelvis even, take an inhale, reach the arm and the leg away from each other. And then as you exhale, just like you did in cat, start to round the spine, draw the elbow and the knee towards each other. Inhale, extend it long. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale it long. Stay here. Or as you exhale, bend the left knee, reach back with the right hand, grab the foot, and then kick the foot into the hand, Trying to bring the extension into the upper spine and not just dumping into the lower back. Take an inhale, send it long. And then exhale, come back to tabletop. Inhale, reach the left arm forward. Exhale, extend the right leg behind you. Toes either on the floor or floating at the height of the hip. Take an inhale, gather length. And then as you exhale, round the spine, curl knee to elbow. Inhale. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, send it long. Exhale, stay or bend the right knee. Reach back with the left hand. Grab the foot and strongly kick the foot into the hand, opening up the chest and the upper back. Inhale, slowly release long. Exhale, take the hands down. Keep the hips above the knees and start to walk the hands forward as far as is comfortable for you. And then start to sink the chest, the chin, or the forehead down towards the mat, coming into Anahatasana puppy pose. Keep the hips reaching towards the sky as you keep the upper body sinking down, opening up through the chest, the shoulders, and the upper back. And then slowly start to walk the fingers and the hands back in towards you. Cross over the ankles and come to sit on your bum with your feet, with your legs crossed. And then from here we're going to take a camel ride. So grab the front shin, and just like you did in cat-cow, as you inhale, arch the back, send the sternum through the gateway of the arms. And then as you exhale, think of hollowing out the belly, roll all the way back on the sacrum. Inhale, roll forward on the sit bones, reach the sternum forward. And then as you exhale, think of scooping the pelvis towards the ribs. And take a few more like this. You can speed it up or slow it down. And try and keep the neck and jaw relaxed. And then come back to center. Take the hands behind you, and then you're just going to cross the opposite shin in front to stretch out the other hip. Take the hands to the knees. Take an inhale, start to reach the sternum forward, and then start to shift over to the right. And as you exhale, scoop out the belly, send the arms long, roll all the way over to the left hip, and then start to come forward, reaching the sternum forward. So just taking these nice big circles, trying to keep the sit bones grounded as best you can, bringing the movement into the spine. And once again, you can choose to speed this up if you want to. And then next time you come through center, just reversing the movement, coming forward to the left, and then back around to the right, starting off slow, and then staying at that pace or choosing to speed it up. And then coming back to neutral. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, gathering length. Hook one thumb on top of the other and think of pulling the thumbs apart as you inhale, stretch the hands towards the sky. And as you exhale, gently draw the lower ribs towards each other and towards the pelvis. Take one more inhale, and then as you exhale, start to twist towards the right. Gently draw the left hip back, bringing the twist into the upper spine. Take one more inhale here, And then as you exhale, release the hands, left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. And then use the hands as levers to see if you can gently twist a little deeper. Slowly, with control, release back to center. Once again, switch the crossing of the shins. Take an inhale, sweep the arms up. This time, hook the opposite thumb in front. Take an inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, once again, gently draw the ribs to the hips. Take an inhale, gather more length. And then as you exhale, start to twist over towards the left. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, release the right hand to the left knee. The left hand comes behind you for a twist. Use your inhales to gather length and your exhales to think of twisting the rib cage around the spine. And then slowly unwind. Come back to center. Roll over your shins, plant the hands in front of you. Tuck the toes. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, send the hips back towards the heels. Start to lift the knees off the ground and straighten the legs into downward facing dog. And I encourage you to keep a deep bend in through the knees for the first one. Think of getting length through the spine as you send the hips up towards the sky, strongly grounding down through both hands. And then once you've got all this length, then maybe you start to extend the heels down towards the floor, only if you can keep the length in the spine. And then as you inhale, you're going to ripple yourself forward to plank. As you exhale, you're going to bend the left knee, take the right ankle, cross it on top of the left knee like a figure four, and then start to send the hips back into a bent leg downward dog. So your left knee stays bent as a shelf for your right leg. So you're in a pigeon in downward dog. If this doesn't work for you, you can always drop the left knee down to the floor. And then inhale, shift it forward to plank. Exhale, send the right leg back. Take a bend in through the right knee and then cross the left ankle on top of the right knee. Send yourself back into a bent leg downward facing dog. Keeping all the length in through the torso, think of sending the left knee to the back of the room as you strongly flex through the left ankle. And the right heel still descends towards the floor, getting a nice calf stretch. Inhale, send it through to plank. Exhale, extend the left leg. And then just take the hips up and back into downward facing dog. And then look towards the hands. Slowly start to walk your feet all the way up towards the hands, bending the knees as much as you need to. And then bend the knees generously so that the torso drapes on the top of the thighs. Take opposite hand to opposite elbow and just start to sway from side to side. Maybe straightening and bending the knees. And then come to stillness in the center. Let the hands come to the floor. Inhale, come into a halfway lift, either on the fingertips or hands to the shins. Extend the sternum forward as you extend the tail backwards. Take one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, keep all the length, come into a forward fold. Maybe the knees are a little bit straighter. Send to the right hand, take an inhale, come back into your halfway lift. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to rotate the left hand up towards the sky. Gently draw the left hip down. And again, thinking of extending length from the crown to the tail. exhale, slowly release. Inhale, center the left hand, and then as you exhale, sweep the right arm up towards the sky. This time gently drawing the right hip down. Even weight in the feet. Take an inhale, and then exhale, fold it forward. Bend the knees generously. Think of the tailbone dropping towards the floor as you start to roll up the length of the spine, slowly coming into standing with the head and the neck coming last. And then inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Evenly ground down through the feet as you grab the right wrist with the left hand. Inhale. And then as you exhale, start to side bend over towards the left. Make sure that the right hip and shoulder aren't collapsing forward. Try and keep the chest open. Strongly grounding down through the right foot as you pull traction through the right wrist. Take one more inhale. Exhale through center. Inhale, swap, right hand grabs left wrist, gather length. And then on your next exhale, start to side bend to the right, this time grounding down through the left foot. Gently drawing the tail towards the floor to create length in the lower back, increasing the stretch. And then inhale, bring yourself through center. We're going to take sunflowers, so interlace the hands, start down by the pelvis. As you inhale, sweep the arms up and over to the right. And then as you exhale, you're going to come all the way to the left. Hands graze down by the floor. Inhale all the way up and over. And then exhale it down. And then once again, take this to the pace of your own breath. You might want to speed it up. You might want to slow it down. You can have as much of a bend in the knees as you need. And then on your next return through center, you're just going to switch the directions. This is also really good for activating the abdominal organs, a little bit detoxifying. And take one more, come back to center, take an inhale. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step the right leg back. Exhale, drop the right knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, sweep the arms up, Anjaneyasana. Think of gently drawing the left hip back and hugging it underneath you as you grow tall through both sides of the pelvis. And if you wanted to, just like we did in our twists before, you can hook one thumb on top of the other. Think of pulling them apart to gather length through the upper back. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to cross the right elbow to the outside of the left knee, taking a twist. If this is too much, you can just plant the right hand to the inside of the foot and open the left hand towards the sky. And take 3 more breaths here. Thinking of lengthening the spine, as opposed to just trying to twist further. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, unwind. Plant the hands to the inside of the left foot. And then take the left foot out slightly. Come off the back knee so that you're in a lizard pose. You might stay here, or if it feels good to you, you could start to walk the hands forward, maybe coming up onto the fingertips and rocking backwards and forwards. Or if you're quite open in through the hips, maybe you bring the forearms down or use a block to bring the floor a little bit closer to you. Wherever you are, extend energy through the back heel and out through the sternum. And you could choose to hang out here, or if you want to bring it a little bit more into the hips, start to take the left foot out on a 45-degree angle and start to let the knee drop so that you come to the outside edge of the left foot. You can always bring the right knee down if this is a bit intense. And you could stay here, or you can plant the right hand, start to rotate to the outside edge of the right foot, maybe sweeping the left hand towards the back of the room, or using the left hand to gently push the left knee away from you. Inhale, we all come back to low lunge. Exhale, drop the back knee if it was raised. Take an inhale here to extend the sternum forward. Exhale, shift the hips back, coming into a half split pose. If the floor is really far away, you could always have 2 blocks underneath your hands. Wherever you are, take an inhale, extend the sternum forward. And as you exhale, gently draw that left hip back. Feeling free to play around with the point and flex of the left ankle. And on your next inhale, shift yourself back into a low lunge. And then exhale, you're going to fold forward at the top of the mat. Take an inhale, step the left leg back. Exhale, drop the left knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, sweep the arms up, raise up, Anjaneyasana. Gently drawing the right hip back. Think of the tail extending towards the floor as you reach tall, maybe hooking a thumb. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, either take the left hand to the floor or cross the left ankle to the outside of the right knee. Using your inhales to send the crown of the head away from the tail. Your exhales to draw the left ribs further to the right. Take an inhale, unwind. Plant the hands to the inside of the right foot and walk the right foot over to the right. Lifting up through the back knee, you could stay here, hugging that right knee towards the arm. Or maybe you walk the fingertips forward, come down onto the forearms or your block. I encourage you to make some movements here, maybe rocking backwards and forwards, strongly lifting through the back leg. And then you could stay here or walk the hands back in, turn the right foot out to a 45-degree angle. Start to let the knee open, coming to the outside edge of the foot. And again, you could stay here or plant the left hand, roll to the outside edge of the left foot, maybe reaching the right hand back or using it to gently push the right knee open further. Take an inhale, return back to your low lunge. Exhale, shift the hips back, coming into a half split pose. Sending the sternum forward, gently draw the right hip back. And then inhale, shift it forward back to your low lunge, lift the back knee. Exhale, step it forward, forward fold at the top of the mat. Take the peace fingers, interlace them around the big toes, feet are hips distance apart. Inhale, extend the crown of the head long. And then exhale, start to fold the chest towards the thighs, bending the knees as much as you need to. Let the head be heavy. Take an inhale, come into a halfway lift. Exhale, step the right leg back, drop the knee. You could stay here, reaching the crown of the head and the sternum forward, getting the stretch in through the right hip flexor. Otherwise, plant the right hand, reach back with the left, bending the right knee. Grab a hold of the left foot, gently drawing it towards the hip. You can always use a strap here if you need to. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, slowly release that foot. Start to shift yourself back. You're going to come to sit to the inside edge of the right heel for a half hero pose. If that doesn't work for you, take a block or a blanket, set it underneath your hips so that you're a little bit elevated. The right knee is directly extended from the right hip, and the left leg is straight out in front of you. Take an inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. And then as you exhale, fold forward any amount, reaching for the left foot, knee, or calf. If you find that you're tipping off to one side, maybe take the left hand out to the side and gently redistribute the weight. And then slowly start to prop yourself up onto your fingertips. You're going to come back into that low lunge. Lift the back knee on an inhale. And then as you exhale, fold forward at the top of the mat. Inhale, come into a halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step the left leg back, drop the left knee. You could stay here or start to bend the left knee. Reach back with the right hand for the incoming foot or a strap, drawing the heel towards the hip for the quad stretch. And then slowly start to release the left foot. Start to walk the hips back so that you come to sit on the inside of that left ankle and knee, maybe with a block if you need to. And feel free to move the flesh of the right glute out of the way to even yourself off. Inhale, reach the arms up and above. And then exhale, folding forward any amount. Again, taking the right hand to the right if you need that extra support or balance. And then bringing the fingers by the hips, start to prop yourself up, crawl yourself back into that low lunge. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, step the right foot back to meet the left for a plank, and then shift yourself into downward facing dog. Take an inhale here, and then as you exhale, just drop the knees down, crawl back to sit on the heels. So your toes are tucked under for intense toe stretch. You might need to unhook the little fingers, the little toes. Interlace the fingers in front of you. Take an inhale, start to reach the arms up. And then exhale, once again, think of drawing those lower ribs gently towards the pelvis, just to avoid overextending through the lower back. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, start to circle yourself over towards the right, down and around by the floor. And then inhale as you come up and over to the left. So you should really feel this in through the upper side body. We're kind of taking your lower back out of the equation now and really getting into that mid to upper back. And swap it over, take it to the other direction. And then inhale, come through center. Exhale, take the hands down. You're just going to cross over the feet and come back to sit on the bum. Take the feet out in front of you as if you're going to set up for bridge pose. Take the hands behind you, and then you're just going to cross the right ankle over the left knee, coming into a seated figure 4. You can stay here, flexing the right ankle, working the hands in towards you to increase the stretch. Or if you want to open up through the shoulders, take the hands back underneath the shoulders and start to lift the hips up towards the sky for a reverse tabletop with a pigeon. The right knee is descending towards the floor, but keep the right hip even with the left. Exhale, slowly release. From here, you're just going to tuck the left heel by the left hip and start to crawl the right knee so that it stacks on top of the left. Both edges, the outside edges of both feet are on the floor for Gomukhasana. And you've got a couple of options here. If you're feeling for a twist, take the hands to heart center. You're going to take the left elbow, hook it to the outside edge of the right knee. Or if you would like to open up the shoulders, take the left hand up and overhead, reach the right hand underneath. For the left hand, a strap or your shirt. And you can always just take a forward fold here. Take an inhale, and then exhale, slowly unwind yourself, bringing your feet back to hips distance apart. We'll take the other side. Crossing the left ankle on top of the right knee. You could stay here, walking the hands towards the hips, just staying in the hip stretch. Or take the hands back a little bit so that they land underneath the shoulders. Bridge the hips up towards the sky, gently letting the left knee drop towards the floor as you strongly engage through the right and left glute to keep even through the hips. If it's comfortable in your body and it feels good, you can always gently release the head, opening the throat. And then slowly release the hips back to the ground. From here, you're just going to take the right heel by the left hip and then start to walk the left foot over so that the knees stack. And again, you could take the right hand up and over, reaching back with the left hand for the shoulder stretch. You could fold forward, or you could take a twist, hooking the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Slowly unwind yourself. Come back to the front of your mat. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees fall out to the side. You might stay here with the hands behind you, propping you up to keep a nice tall spine. Or you could take the hands around the feet. Think of opening them up like a really interesting book. And if you can keep the length in the spine, then you can start to maybe crawl the torso forward. And think of softening the inner thighs, allowing the knees to drop towards the floor. And then exhale, slowly walk it up. And then we're going to come into a wide leg forward fold. So scoot yourself to the long end of the mat. Take the feet out as far as is comfortable for you. The toes point up towards the sky, the knees point to the sky. You can stay here with the hands behind the hips, opening the chest, keeping the spine nice and tall. Or if you can keep the length, maybe you take the hands in front of you and start to crawl the hands forward. If your toes start to roll inwards or outwards, back it up a little bit and keep this length in through the spine. You miss the stretch if you start to rotate through the hips. And if you're folded forward, start to walk yourself back in. Take the left hand and you're just going to either place it on top of the left thigh or you can place the hand underneath the left calf. Take the right hand, reach it up, and then as you exhale, start to side bend over towards the left foot, getting a nice big side body stretch. Try and avoid the chest collapsing towards the floor. You want to think of it opening to the sky. And if this is too much, you can always take the right leg and bend it so that the sole of the foot comes to the inside of the right thigh. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, come back through center. Take the right hand either on top of the right leg or underneath the right calf. Inhale, sweep that left arm up. And then as you exhale, start to side bend over towards the left. Either keeping the left leg extended, or if it feels better in your body, bending that left leg so that the sole of the foot comes to the inner thigh. Inhale, bring yourself back through center. And if your legs are still apart, gently take the hands underneath the knees. And you're just going to wiggle the legs so that they come together. Turn to face the front of your mat again. Extend the legs out in front of you. Inhale, extend the arms tall for Dandasana. And then exhale, fold forward any amount, Paschimottanasana. You can have your knees as bent as you need to. You can take a strap or a towel around the feet to bring the toes closer towards you. And take an inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly just roll yourself all the way back onto your back, segment by segment. And then gather the knees in towards the chest. And take the arms off to capital T, take an inhale. And then as you exhale, just let the legs fall towards the left, trying to keep the right shoulder down on the floor. And gently think of drawing the right hip away from you, creating length in through the spine. If you wanted to increase the stretch in your right hip, you could take the left ankle and just cross it to the outside of the right knee. It will act as a bit of an anchor. Inhale yourself back through center, and then exhale, draw the knees to the right. Again, just gently drawing that left hip away from you, and the left hip down toward, the left shoulder down toward the floor. And if you wanted to increase the stretch on this side, you could always take the right ankle on top of the left knee. Bring the knees back in towards center. Give yourself a squeeze. You can either draw the knees to the outside edges of the rib cage, or maybe take the hands around the outside edges of the feet, coming into happy baby. Letting the lower back flatten into the floor as you draw the thighs down towards the floor. And then bring the soles of the feet together and start to rest the feet down on the floor, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana. Letting the knees open wide. Take one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Take a nice deep inhale. And then exhale it through the mouth. And start to let go of the control of your breath. Feeling the whole body spacious and relaxed on the mat. Letting the thoughts come and go as if they are nothing more than clouds in the sky. Please stay here and enjoy the benefits of your practice for as long as you have time for today. Today, as you go forward, may you have clarity in your thoughts, calmness in your words, and joy in your heart. Namaste.